everybody, and welcome to another episode of No Highway Option, the cinema podcast where we answer the one question that applies to every film ever made. Is it better or worse than Vin Diesel's 2005 seminal masterpiece, The Pacifier? My name is Connor, I'm one of your hosts, and I would really like to see a sequel to School of Rock, where they're all adults, and they do one big rock band, and everyone has fun.
Yeah, I want that movie also.
I like School of Rock.
So they actually did a reunion tour.
I did remember seeing that.
Yeah, that'd be a great movie.
Fuck yeah. I'm down. I'm your other host, Luke. The sequel I am pitching for your approval today, it's a spiritual successor to Sherlock Holmes. Sherlock Holmes is played by the Hulk, and Watson, I wrote down Holmes because I'm a dummy. Watson is played by all of the tools from Handy Manny, and the case that they're working to solve is the same one from The Lovely Bones with no change.
Hey Luke, do you know what a sequel is?
Yeah, it's a spiritual sequel.
It's not a sequel.
It takes place after the second Robert Downey Jr. one, and obviously all the roles have been recast. And we go in a different direction.
You're not even going to keep, I don't even remember who played the girl.
Me either.
Noomi Rapace?
Is that real, or did you just...
I think it's Noomi Rapace. I think she was the girl with the dragon tattoo in Sweden. I think. I don't know. Anyway, we have a special guest with us today. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Hey, I'm Sam, longtime listener, even longer time friend of Luke's. And my sequel that I would absolutely love to see one of is Fever Pitch.
Especially now with it's Fever Pitch 2 if Jimmy Fallon's whole thing is he's just trying to get his cardboard cut out in the stands at Fenway and they won't let him in.
That'd be perfect, actually.
I always wanted a Fever Pitch that followed the Patriots. This is not all the way
Fever
to sequel.
Spiral.
Yeah. But people hate the Patriots way more than they hate the Red Sox.
That's true.
So it never
That's
worked.
True. Yeah.
Fever Pitch 2, Jimmy Fallon's like, oh no, my baby likes the Yankees.
Serious
Would watch.
plot twist. Yeah.
In case you couldn't tell, which, I mean, you probably couldn't by all of that.
All of that bullshit.
I totally, instead of School of Rock, I meant to say I wish they made a sequel to Indiana Jones 3, but that's...
Same movie, basically.
Yeah.
The bones of the plot.
Our movie this week, recommended to us by Matt Anderson from No Highway, recommended to us by Matt Anderson from I Drinker Podcast, is Hamlet 2, the 2008 movies starring Steve Coogan, which they were really trying to make a Steve Coogan a thing in the late 2000s, weren't they?
Yeah. I forgot who he was for a while, and then I realized, yeah, he's the least expensive Nick Cage.
Because he's got Tropic Thunder, Hot Fuzz. There were 3 other things that
and then
came
he was
out
gone.
In this. He's still doing stuff, apparently. He's doing something called Alan Partridge, which I think is a British thing where it's he's playing an Alex Jones type, maybe.
I mean, he's clearly got the zany chops.
Yeah, he's
got that part down.
His American accent in this wasn't terrible, which I was surprised by.
That's
fair.
fair.
He actually fit in there. I didn't even realize who he was for a while. Honestly, I've never even heard of this movie until now.
That's Luke. Did you have any history with it? I was just about to ask.
It seemed like I had heard of it, and then when we got all the way to the end and the plague was happening and all of the chaos was happening outside the building, that seemed vaguely familiar, but nothing else. So I couldn't tell you if I saw it or not.
I know I definitely watched the trailer a lot because I was it was 2008. I was 13 when it came out, so I was it's offensive, so it's the funniest thing on the planet. And I think I watched it when we had like a free HBO weekend and it was on, and my mom was like, "What is this?" I'm like, "I think it's funny." She's like, "Why? What's funny about it?" There also, small history with this for me was in my Boy Scout troop. There was one kid who everybody made fun of. And I'm going to change his name even though I bet he doesn't listen to this. And his name was Fred Jones, I guess. And so everyone would like make little catchphrases for him while they were making fun of him, like, "My name's Fred Jones and I bought a new pair of shoes." And one of the older guys out of nowhere just kept going, "My name is Fred Jones and I'm having a herpes outbreak, but you wouldn't know it," which is the line from the opening montage of this movie.
Was he doing it because of this?
I think so. Like, the way he said it with the timing was the same as the movie. And I remember being like a freshman in high school and being like, "Is that Hamlet too? Do I bring up that I know what you're doing and it's not an original joke, buddy?"
The
But-
opening was just all over the place.
Super
And
weird.
I get that it was like his acting career, but then they just throw him into like, what was that? Xena, the Princess Warrior or whatever.
Yeah,
He just gets a
Xena.
unicorn up his ass.
I want to know if that was like, well, it was like credited at the end. So I think that was like a real scene that they just fucking dropped him on top of.
Yeah, it's like a thing in like Universal Studios where you'd have like dad standing in front of a green screen and now he's in this movie. Like, that's what it looked like. Steve Coogan is playing Dana Marges, which is a running joke that I don't understand if it's funny or not. He's a failed actor that is now a drama teacher, and he usually puts on plays that he writes, and they're just adaptations of movies that have come out, like Aaron Brockovich.
I thought that was pretty funny. Just a weird... Every movie that he references is such a weird pick at a constant.
This entire movie has a weird vibe to it. Like, I can't tell, is it supposed to be an inspirational story parody? Because it kind of shuts that down really quick.
I got parody vibe, but
Like, I don't know, I always think of like Freedom Writers, the one where it's like Hilary Swank and like the inner city kids, and she's like, "Poetry is also rap music." And they're like, "We are so inspired and we love you now, even though we screamed, 'I hate white people' at the top of our lungs when we first met you."
I think they're like playing off of that.
It's
He references
yeah.
another one of those movies that I can't think of the name of.
He references Mr. Holland's Opus and Good Will Hunting, I think.
But then there's another one with the teacher lady.
I don't remember the third one. But yeah, there are two kids in this drama class at first. It's a Rand and Epiphany. And Rand is played by Skylar Astin, but as a child. I just found that funny. I like Skylar Astin.
He looked really familiar the whole time, and I like couldn't put my finger on it. And then I was like, oh yeah, he looks like he could be that kid from Pitch Perfect. And then he was that kid from Pitch Perfect.
Surprise. The Aaron Brockovich play, like all of them, is lambasted by the local theater critic, which turns out to be a 10-year-old.
Yeah. What is this, a high school or?
I think it might be a K through 12 school, maybe. It might be a set that they rented.
Because that kid is 9.
he was.
Yeah,
But
he
was
was.
also he was the only 9-year-old
That's
Yeah.
true.
I saw. So maybe he's just a genius. He had a large vocabulary.
Could be. We go to Dana's house. His wife Bree is there, played by Catherine Keener, and their roommate, because they're broke, Gary, played by David Arquette. And they hate Gary, and Bree, kind of just likes yelling at people and just being grouchy all the time, I guess.
Yeah, Bree sucks.
Hey, you want to know what my description of her was when I wrote down notes? I don't know why. I wrote, drug dealer girl with an insurance scheme in mind. She's probably gonna die.
I didn't get that vibe. I definitely I think I have, like, on my first page when she's introduced, I'm like, she and Gary fuck, don't they? Like, I don't remember this movie very well, but I think they fuck, right?
So I was the only one of the three of us that missed that was coming.
Or at least that something was coming with Brie.
Yeah, no, I knew she was bad news when she had all those schemes in mind.
I was just really fixated on the whole Gary thing, that they kept calling him an asshole, and then he'd just be there. He seemed nice.
2 lines.
Yeah.
He needed a place to live.
Also, he's a WWE wrestler, I think.
Really?
What?
I googled him, and I believe he's at one time he was a WWE wrestler.
David Arquette?
I think so.
Like, married to Courtney Cox?
Maybe.
I hope so.
Unless I looked up the wrong movie, I'm pretty sure. Also, about his name, and when I first read it, I thought it said David Archuleta. I was completely wrong with that too. So
Oh,
That was an American Idol guy, wasn't it? Or
yeah.
no? Okay.
Oh my god, you're right. In 2010, there's an episode of Raw where it's Randy Orton versus David Arquette and Alex Riley.
How did he do?
What? He won the WCW World Heavyweight Championship in 2000. Wait, when was David Arquette a WWE wrestler?
after this, he must have blown up because remember he had so much he must have gone on steroids.
Yeah, I guess.
His whole thing was protein powder. That was it. The entire
His whole
movie.
character.
No, in 2000, he filmed a movie about World Championship Wrestling called Ready to Rumble, and then they just started bringing him in.
He was just regularly wrestling throughout the early 2000s.
Okay, that's insane. All right.
What else? Is he in other stuff that I should know him from?
He's in Scream, I think. Yeah, he's in Scream, Never Been Kissed, Eight-Legged Freaks.
Is that about spiders?
Yeah, giant spiders.
Shark Boy and Lava Girl. He's in that.
Yeah, he's the dad in that.
He plays George Lopez.
No, he's the dad. He's an angel in the Very Merry Muppet Christmas movie. Don't need to watch it. It's bad. That's also the one... Well, no, I'm not gonna... Oh, there's a documentary about him coming out called You Cannot Kill David Arquette.
I bet that's going to have wrestling in it.
That definitely needs a sequel.
Oh, it came out a week ago. It follows David Arquette attempting to return to wrestling after his acting career stalls.
Huh.
This movie stalled it.
All right, well, if...
this was what put
Yeah.
me into it.
All right, well, if we ever get that as a recommendation...
You just might.
Okay. So we find out that Dana roller skates to work, and he's bad at that. We later find out it's because he was an alcoholic and got his license revoked. But also because the school only pays him in gas money, and so that's how he's saving by roller skating.
Probably the most realistic part of the movie.
This movie is full of a lot of just going, yeah, sure, man, sure.
Using a lot of stereotypes and a lot of just movie tropes,
Mm-hmm.
and just throw them all at you.
See what sticks.
Dana arrives to work and finds out that the drama class is full of quote-unquote poor kids whose other classes were canceled. And this is the freedom writers type stereotype. He wants to be an inspirational teacher like Mr. Holland from Mr. Holland's Opus.
Yeah. So, what was the lesson here? I know that it's nonsense, and he got completely sidetracked. But he does Mr. Holland, and what is the other one he says?
Did he say Dead Poets?
Yes. He starts on Dead Poet Society, rolls into Mr. Holland's Opus. And those are not well, I guess Dead Poets is building the kids up. But Mr. Holland's Opus is not about
him as a teacher
building the kids up. That's about that teacher's career.
It's not even about that it's not even about that teacher's career. It's kind of just this man has a deaf son and he's a music teacher.
I mean,
Right?
more happens than that.
I have not seen it since middle school
It's
French
like-
class. So
It's like music teacher, It's a Wonderful Life, kinda.
I genuinely just remember the part where they find out the kid's deaf because he's not scared of the fire engine. And then later, John Lennon dies, and Mr. Holland's like, "Ah, man, John Lennon died. You wouldn't understand, my deaf son." And his son's like, "I know who John Lennon is."
Yeah, it's a weight. It's an emotional weight.
Boy, this movie didn't give us much, did it?
I listen.
It gave us a good pussy joke.
I laughed hard a lot of times.
There are some good moments. This is when, what's the girl's name who keeps getting hit in the head with stuff?
Yolanda?
Yeah. He kicks a trash can and it hits Yolanda straight in the head. And everyone's like, "This was stupid." And he goes, "It was stupid, but it was also theater." Which,
I couldn't breathe.
I was going to say that can describe some shows I've been in.
I wrote that verbatim down as well.
Yeah. Just a clean thunk right in the head.
She has some kind of concussion. This makes him late to dinner with Gary and Bree has an enormous margarita. Like, that's too big, I would say. But it was funny.
I like when she eats the salt off of it like a pet store alpaca. Petting zoo. You don't buy an alpaca at the pet store.
That's a big pet store. Apparently Bree and Dana are trying to have kids, but my note from this morning just says Dana balls no working.
I got shooting blanks.
Yep.
There's a lot of writing down quotes in this one.
Well, what you got?
My most recent one to this was "What's fisted?" So we're a little ways back.
Nah.
Gotcha.
No, isn't What's Fisted when he's talking about how the principal tells him they're gonna shut down drama because of arts?
I thought it was they were reading the newspaper review, and he was like, "I keep getting fisted," and the kids were like, "What's fisted?"
Yeah, Epiphany's like, "What's fisted?" And then Skylar Aston's like, No.
Also, an important line that we missed was, "It's like you raped me in the face." That comes back.
Yeah, that keeps coming back.
It's gonna come back a lot.
I don't know. Yeah, so budget cuts are getting rid of drama because, it's the mid 2000s and everyone was all about save the arts then. Now, unfortunately. And so he's trying to put on one final show before he leaves. He's telling all the kids this. Epiphany's being very outwardly racist while trying not to be.
Is she trying not to be?
She says something about, like, I've been trying with my church group, but I'm still uncomfortable around ethnics.
Yeah, that's another one I had written down. I get anxious around ethnics.
Yeah. So, like, she's trying to do a holier-than-thou thing, but, like, she is flat-out racist. And I guess it's supposed to be a trope joke that, like, her racism gets worse. She gets more accepting, but more racist about it.
Yeah, I think they were using her for that.
It's a super
I don't think
weird...
we were supposed to take it as, like
it's supposed to be a joke, but it's a super weird joke.
Yeah. Well, it's a different time. This is at the same time Robert Downey Jr. is dressed as a man, playing another man.
Dude playing a dude disguised as another dude.
That's it.
And they go to then later, Bree and Gary go to a fertility clinic, and working at the fertility clinic as the desk nurse is real actress Elisabeth Shue, playing herself.
Yeah.
Sure, man. And
I don't know that I've seen her in anything.
Karate Kid.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he did it. Yeah.
Yeah, he
But aside from Karate Kid,
like in an adult life, yeah, I don't think so.
She's a name that I've heard of, so I'm just like, yeah, sure. That's
the
Elizabeth Shue.
babysitting movie is a famous one, isn't it?
Adventures in Babysitting?
Isn't that the one that people talk about?
Vaguely. It got a TV remake on Disney Channel.
We're gonna get roasted for that one. Everyone's gonna be like, "What the fuck?"
I don't know.
Oh, did you guys catch the name of the sperm clinic or whatever?
No.
Prickly cactus?
Yeah, prickly pear. Just a play on prick there.
I
Just had to slide that
didn't
in
even
there.
think of that.
I missed that one completely.
Did you catch where drama class is held? Just the
Yes.
name
The
outside?
snackatorium.
The snackatorium.
That's Sim and I went to school. We had a snackatorium.
Was it called the
God.
snackatorium?
No, I think it was probably what it was. I don't think it had a name.
That's
But
what
it
we
was
had.
Cafeteria.
Yeah.
We either did all-purpose room or cafetorium, but like snackatorium's just hysterical. Like whenever I move, I want to like make a sign and put that over my door.
Yeah. I also had that one written down.
Let's see. This is around the time when Noah the drama critic child inspires Dana to finally write Hamlet 2, which is, about Dana's father rejecting him. Even though writing is very hard. But yeah, writing is hard. We get that through a montage.
Yeah. I submit that he wouldn't be able to write this play if he wasn't constantly keeping his balls at room temp.
Right, that was the whole thing.
I also like a lot of the shit that happens in this movie is just like a thrown away joke. They say it and then they like blow past it. Surprisingly, the balls at room temp is not.
Yeah, that keeps coming back.
If you watch his clothes the rest of the time, it's always baggy.
That's what he needed in order to have a kid. Yeah.
Did you guys know toaster was street for gun? I learned that.
I think I'd heard that somewhere before, but it might have just been like a suppressed memory from watching this movie.
Oh shit, it really is?
I don't know.
It might have been a repressed memory from watching this movie, like I just said.
Yeah, but that kid said it and I was like, what?
But, the drama club needs at least $6,000 in order to continue.
That's what I was trying to say earlier.
Sorry.
It's okay.
And, they're like, yeah, we could sell toasters and get, like, at least $10,000. And Dana's like, yes, toasters! That's perfect. Everybody loves a toaster. And they're like, that's street for gun. Dana writes all of Hamlet 2 and starts tossing out the scripts. Yolanda gets hit in the head again.
Yeah, she does.
And, then a fight starts because Epiphany is a racist.
Yep. Yeah, I have here racism underlined and highlighted. Yolanda gets knocked over again.
One of those two things is funny. It's the Yolanda one.
I think this movie does the thing where it falls so far across the line that it's absurd enough to laugh at.
Yeah, I know the trailer said it was from a co-writer of Team America and the South Park movie.
I mean, that makes sense.
I didn't get to look up who it was. But, yeah. So Dana solves racism by taking the class to the mall, to their little arcade zone. And everyone's doing great. Everyone's having a fun time. Skylar Astin gets to talk to Dana about, like, stuff. I don't remember what the conversation is.
It was about, like, it was kind of about him being, like, a teacher's pet, right? It was that one.
Yes.
Yeah. He didn't... Yeah.
That's it, yes. And so... But we find out that Dana's been 7 years sober, and Octavio, who introduced himself as Haywood Jablomi, and Dana thinks his name is Haywood for like 2/3 of the movie.
For way longer than I thought we were going to roll with that.
Yeah, I thought at first he was rolling with it because he was like, I am putting this child on my side, and like, see, I'm the cool teacher. I get it's a joke, but I'm gonna keep throwing it at him. But
That
no,
will eat you alive. Let me tell
but
you,
yeah,
firsthand experience, if you are teaching a group of kids and they tell you their name is Hey, would you blow me? And you're like, yeah, I'm cool, I'm doing it. You're done. You're cooked. You might as well have fed yourself to sharks.
So Octavio, after finding out Dana's 7 years sober, spikes his mango iced tea. And then Dana has apparently done acid and wakes up pantsless on a couch in the middle of nowhere. By the way, they're in Tucson, Arizona.
That was a lot of acid.
Yeah.
It was a full vial.
He just dropped right in there. Yeah.
Oh, I thought he spiked it with like vodka and then like just one thing led to another and then Dana was on acid.
Maybe.
But
Oh, I thought he put the acid in the drink too.
it's probably a full vial of acid and I just was not paying attention. I was just like, clear liquid, that and a small thing, that must mean vodka.
I've never seen it like portrayed that way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I don't know where else he would have got it.
yeah, I always see it as those little Listerine things.
Yeah.
So maybe it was just a little like nip of vodka and just threw him off the wagon.
Yeah.
And then they're on that indoor spinny thing.
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
somewhere, it's like in between a fair and a Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, it's like an insane Dave & Buster's. It's the American Dream Mall in New Jersey that's been closed.
There's also a lot of this guy's ass in this movie.
There's too much Steve Coogan ass, I would say.
Yeah.
The title could have been something to do with his ass, and like it wouldn't have felt out of place.
I don't think people would see it.
But it would have been accurate.
I don't know if it's like coming soon this fall, Steve Coogan's ass.
Hamlet's 2 ass cheeks.
Anyway, so Skylar Astin quits drama because he's playing Laertes, and he finds out in the latest draft, Laertes is written as a smaller part and is bi-curious, which he doesn't want people to know that he's gay, even though he's very, like, effeminate. So he storms out. And this is when we have a discussion about Jesus having a swimmer's body.
Oh, right.
Which, okay.
Will come back up later.
Yeah.
Doesn't he
And-
slap somebody? Or he gets slapped?
He gets punched by Octavio.
Oh, that's right.
Oh.
Okay. There's fight scenes with the kids all the time.
Mm-hmm. There's always something going on. And then Octavio's like, hey, my parents are pulling me out of the play. They saw the script. They don't want this to go down. And so Dana's like, they can't let you stop. They can't, like, you know, your dad who probably drinks and, like, making assumptions based on race and based on everything. And then you find out that he comes from a really upscale home and, like, has a 3.9 and has early acceptance to Brown. It was a pretty funny subversion. Both his parents are artists.
His parents love Hamlet.
Yeah, they're like, we want him out of this play because, like, you don't do a sequel to Hamlet.
Everybody dies.
It's true. But if
I
Hamlet...
liked all the sticks. That was a good...
Yeah, he knocks
good
into a
physical
bunch of
comedy.
sticks. If Hamlet had a little bit of therapy, he could have turned it all around, is a good quote from this.
He's not wrong.
I mean, probably not.
I think at one point he slips in, like, if you love this country joke as well. Like, you'll let your kid
Yeah.
participate.
When does he do when's the French kissing Satan George Bush joke? Is that
That's
way later?
Yeah, it's a little later. But Skylar Astin does give the Hamlet 2 script to the principal in order to get Dana fired out of petty revenge. After this, I just wrote hashtag Hamlet 2 is over party. And then we find out at last Bree is pregnant. Yay. Dana gets his hand slammed in the door. I believe this is when the French kissing Satan thing comes up. If you want to talk about that.
Oh yeah, I enjoyed that line. Also, last week's guest, Matt, told us. Didn't he tell us that this movie was going to be just like chock full of allusions to the current political time?
I don't know. I haven't edited it yet.
Well, I think he did.
Hillary was brought up.
That's fair.
That was in the writing scene.
I only caught like the like 2 lines.
There's little stuff about it, but it's not huge. But while he's upset about the principal being like, "You will be fired," he slams his hand in the door, and so he has to get a cast to keep his finger elevated, and it's his middle finger, so he's just walking around with his middle finger all the way up all the time.
Yeah.
And like
this is when the principal tells him that he can't continue, right?
Yeah. He's like, "You're shut down, and you should be fired."
Had to move to the gym, or was that later?
No, this is when they move to the gym. They are starting to build their big set with the shop class. They have an outside choral accompaniment from the Tucson Gay Men's Choir. There's a whole fly system. Like, this is an expensive show.
Just some acapella maniac.
Yeah. That song, Slowed Down, is always good.
I didn't recognize it for a second.
Yeah,
it took
me a little while to get it.
This sounds familiar, but... and then we're introduced to Cricket, an ACLU lawyer who's there to make sure that the show can go on as First Amendment rights state, blah, blah, blah. And it's young Amy Poehler.
Just comes up full Leslie Knope.
Yeah. The only thing is, like, just the hair is so different. It's, like, so flat.
She's got that, like, buzzed... She got a Karen look. I'm sorry, but she was...
A little bit.
She portrayed a Karen as well.
I'll be honest, she didn't look that different to me than current Amy Poehler.
Something about her looked strange to me. And
yeah, no, you guys are probably right. I just didn't notice.
There's a new space where they can perform their show because it's like a party scene, but the owners were at Burning Man. And they find out that the show is sold out, which is exciting. But Dana gets hit by the principal's truck to be forced to stop.
Yeah, did this, like, all of a sudden turn into Footloose?
Kinda.
A little bit, yeah.
They went to the warehouse. They built all this stuff. Somebody gets hit by a car.
I mean, to be fair, he gets hit by the side door.
That's true.
He dodges out of the way of, like, the real attacks and then just gets, like, a bam. And then we get the confession that I've remembered and Sam seemed to catch on to a little bit. Dana and Gary have been fucking, and the baby is Gary's. Not Dana and Gary, Bree and Gary. I said Dana and Gary, didn't I? And nobody stopped me.
I was just gonna go with it.
Yes.
Different movie. Bree and Gary have been sleeping together, and they are in a relationship now, and they're all moving out. And the baby is Gary's. Dana's been shooting blanks, and all Dana has is a strawberry protein shake in the fridge.
Which Gary left for him because he's a pal.
Yeah, because he's looking to bulk up.
I mean,
Gary is the unsung hero of this film. He gets Bree out of the house, leaves a protein shake.
It's as much as a pal you can be when you're fucking their wife.
Listen, he was better off without her.
Yeah, it's true.
He ended up with Elisabeth Shue and a show on Broadway.
But not at first. At first, he does what you would naturally do after your wife confesses that she's been sleeping with someone else and leaves, and he gets plastered. At first, just on peach schnapps, which is weird, silly choice.
It's a weird scene, just gargling it.
Yeah.
A lot of this is just weird, but then the show goes on.
Well, he goes to the liquor store to get more booze, and he buys grain alcohol for $8. I feel like
2008, and it's in the middle of nowhere, Arizona.
I guess, man. This movie also, that was one thing that I couldn't ride with it on, was there's a lot of directly like fuck Arizona jokes. And I just don't have that background. I just don't know anything about Arizona.
Yeah, I guess the writer must have been from Arizona, and he's been like, man, couldn't do it, man. Couldn't stand it there.
Time for a special announcement.
Hey, Luke, what's some things you can do with a telephone?
If there was like a really mad goose in your house, you could hit the goose with the telephone.
Interesting. What are some more basic things you can do with a telephone?
You could do basic math, or find apps, or
you could call people that you like. You could call numbers that you know, or you could call in to your favorite Vin Diesel-based podcast. This one. We have a hotline now.
hotline,
I like
baby.
I like calling it the Highway Patrol tip line, because that makes it sound like it's not what it actually is. But, call us. Leave us a message. Talk about something you heard in an episode. If you want to offer a correction, if you want to be like, hey, I liked this episode, I didn't. If you want to just bother us, I don't know, man. This is a weird experiment that we're trying out.
We like hearing from you. You want to call in? We roasted your favorite movie too hard. You want to complain about it? Call on in.
Yeah. Come on down. We might do special episodes every so often where we listen to the messages and talk about them. We might insert them at the end of episodes. Who knows? I don't.
Yeah. Maybe we'll.
None of us do.
We'll do that thing where you can tattoo the audio line. We'll get it written down on a piece of paper, and then we'll feed that to a zoo animal.
Not at that point yet. It's not safe to go to zoos yet either.
You're right. Hey man, animals can't catch it.
I thought they could. I thought dogs could.
Oh, I thought dogs couldn't.
I don't know. I think I read mice could. Anyway,
This probably
let's
isn't
not
gonna
think
stay.
about that.
Yeah.
But let's think about the phone number, which is 301-941-7493. Or, if you like to think about words, that's 301-941-size.
Size.
It's size because that's all Google Voice could give me when I wanted to find one that had a word in it.
It's because by doing these phone calls, you could help us increase our listener size.
There you go. I wanted to see if I could get one with an area code that spelled out Vin, but that apparently does not exist.
Well,
yeah.
have to fight
Give
with
us a
the
call.
phone, guys.
Give us a call. Let's see if this experiment works. Again, that's 301-941-7493 or 301-941-size.
Give us a call.
Okay, bye. But yeah, after this, the show happens. They put everything together. There are a lot of protesters outside. The news reports something about apparently Snoopy is in it at one point. I didn't see him. I wish I could. I'm very curious to see what they did with him.
Well, he doesn't go right to it. He goes back first to tell the kids he won't do the show.
Yes.
We
But
have
then
the Yolanda talks for the first time.
Oh yeah, Yolanda doesn't talk much, and then she talks. And forgot to mention, she was on the fly system and crashed into the wall.
A lot of good Yolanda humor.
But yeah, they're sold out, but people are willing to help. The football team and the wrestling team and a gang are willing to do security.
We just get a weird Glee moment where the whole school comes together,
Yeah.
Yeah.
throwing people out.
This entire thing just... It's weird, and it felt like it was shoved into 90 minutes. Like, instead of having a money budget, they were given a time budget of, like, you can't go over this long. They're like, all right. So,
You had to throw it all together.
Skylar
I did like a lot of the bouncer scenes were really fucking quality. The guy, when the play first starts and one of the dads or somebody is there and is like, oh, this is ridiculous. And then all of the football players just pick him up and hurl him out.
Yeah.
And then the gang is standing out front. And the gang tells the people coming up, they're like, no fucking ticket, no entry.
Yeah, there are a lot of good, like, quick bits in this. Especially this final sequence when the show happens. And Skylar Astin comes back and he wants to continue playing Bicurious Laertes because he's good with his sexuality now out of nowhere.
He was going to therapy 5 days a week.
Yeah.
He really made an effort.
And then Raped in the Face comes back as a song.
Which is like about therapy, I think.
It's a weird song. It's like, of the 2 songs that they have in this, it doesn't hit as hard.
Well, they can't all be Rock Me Sexy Jesus.
Yeah,
dude.
I know. The joke is like very muddled in it. I don't know if it was supposed to be like a Spring Awakening joke thing with like the somber moodiness of it.
I think a lot of this is different stuff. That felt Spring Awakening. I'm with you on that.
It's weird, but then then we get the incredible Rock Me Sexy Jesus song, which sounds a little too close to Little Shop of Horrors for me, but it's a great song. It's catchy. It was in my head all day.
Oh, you get a ton of it. You get that Little Shop part. It starts as like very Grease. Yeah.
The coolest guy in town. He makes us go to church, but also wanna fuck him.
Also, like, that dude's got lats that make me feel gay. We sing at Jesus.
Yeah, it's like...
He's a really, like, he looks like the boss, dude.
I mean, he's got a tank top and jeans.
Yeah.
That's just like an anything.
But also the boss with long hair.
I don't think he owns that.
I don't know. Sam, this is your area of expertise.
He ain't got no Bruce Springsteen ass, man. You don't see him standing there with a handkerchief.
Yeah, I was gonna say, the handkerchief in the back pocket, that's his trademark.
I guess.
An off play of Steve Aoki, if anything.
The song keeps going. There's one woman who in the front who's screaming blasphemy the entire time until she hears the line, Jesus kicks Satan's ass. And she's like, yes.
She gets it.
Yes, I get it now.
Yeah, is there a prayer group there? I thought that was part of the show at first. They show people leaving their seats to come up to the front during Rock Me Sexy Jesus, and they're all holding their Bibles.
I think it's just like a bunch of Bible people from Arizona.
It's interesting. Because I thought it was part of the number. And then all of a sudden
they were screaming at him.
Yeah. Also, Elisabeth Shue is everyone's in the audience at this point. But Elisabeth Shue is there, and she is losing her mind. She loves this.
It's pretty fucking rad. It also has one of my favorite, the funny every time Jesus jokes. It's the sleight of hand magic. Yeah. It doesn't matter if Family Guy's doing it or anyone else. I will laugh every time Jesus does sleight of hand.
It is a good gag every time. But, like, I can see why I thought the entire Rock Me Sexy Jesus thing was funny in 2009. But now it kind of feels worn out. Like, just this type of, like, everything offensive, but, like, not too offensive thing.
I don't know, man.
I don't know. I guess, like...
I loved it.
Watching this in a post-Book of Mormon landscape after you've seen Hasadiga Evil Eye and everything, like, it just, like, doesn't hit as hard for me. It's not bad.
But this came first.
I know.
It was a hit for Elisabeth Shue. It just reignited her desire to act.
Yeah. Yeah, she does call her agent immediately afterward and is like, I want to continue acting. And,
Who was the guy, weird cameo? The only way I can describe him is the guy with the weird bottom teeth.
Is the copy store guy?
Maybe.
They talk about the colors of paper.
And he's sitting there at the beginning and he's just like, whoa.
Yeah, when it all lights up.
Yeah. I don't know his name. I have seen him. He's in an FX show, isn't he?
I don't know.
Or he was. I know I've seen him.
He does
before.
look. Yeah, I know what you guys mean because he looked familiar.
He looks very basic cable notable.
He might have been. No.
Oh!
I was thinking maybe Wilfred, but no.
Elisabeth Shue was the girlfriend in Back to the Future 2 and 3.
Oh yeah, okay. So I know her.
I just. No.
And probably 1 as well.
No. After they switched after 1. That was a whole big thing. That's why the beginning of 2 is the end of 1. Like, that's why they did that scene for scene to be like, that's not her anymore, this is her. What else? I'm just looking at Elisabeth Shue's thing now. She's in Hollow Man. It's a scary Invisible Man movie where Kevin Bacon is invisible serial killer.
Chocolate Bunny?
Oh, that's actually a really good movie.
I've heard good things. Let's see. After this, her big return to acting. She was working pretty steadily, it seemed. But her big return, she's got Piranha 3D.
Wasn't that a bigger deal than it was supposed to be when it came out?
Yeah, because it came out in late August, and it was 2010 3D movie, so everyone was like, 3D's perfect. When, like, eh. She was Karen the bartender in Hope Springs. She's in that Jennifer Lawrence House at the End of the Street thing.
Is she the house?
No.
At the end of the street?
No. The last thing she was in was Greyhound, that Tom Hanks Apple TV movie that is made exclusively for dads.
I don't have Apple TV.
Neither do I. But like,
who's the copy store guy?
I don't know what to. I guess I'll look up.
Celebrities with weird teeth.
Yeah, I didn't know how to write copy store man.
He probably has a name. Although I
is...
really did like him as this little comedy thing.
He was very funny. Stuff. His name is Nat Faxon. He was in the FX series Married, which I just remember seeing a lot of ads for. He has an Oscar for co-writing The Descendants with Jim Rash. Oh, he writes a lot of stuff with Jim Rash. Okay.
Is that the only thing he's been in?
No, he has a lot of stuff. He's in Beer Fest. He's in Walk Hard.
He's in a lot.
Oh, he's Dave Luke in one of your favorite movies from 2011. That features a gorilla in a t-shirt.
I love Zookeeper.
Thanks.
It has everything. It has Cher and Sylvester Stallone as talking animals. It has a gorilla at TGI Fridays. What more do you need?
A lot. He's been in a bunch of stuff, it looks like. Oh shit, he plays Captain Underpants in the Netflix series. Cool. But yeah, Skylar Astin gets his big singing solo, which all saw coming, knowing who Skylar Astin is now. And then there's, time machines, flying lightsaber fights, screen projection of God. I kind of just want to see the entire show.
Yeah.
I'm very curious to see how it all comes together.
Yeah, it wasn't super cohesive, but I didn't expect it to be.
Not really.
I didn't remember, I guess, I don't know. Well, I'm saying that I haven't probably seen it, but I thought that this thing was going to end with the sexy Jesus, and that was all we were going to see of it. And we saw way more of this play than I thought we were going to.
We saw a lot more, all underscored by the Gay Men's Chorus doing Someone Save My Life Tonight.
Yeah, is that the real Gay Men's Chorus of Tucson, and do they have an album?
It's possible. I don't know. They were incredible.
Elton John choir singing? That's what
They were rad.
It's all I'm getting is like Reveille men's chorus, so it's not exactly the gay men's chorus of Tucson, Arizona.
But it is a chorus. Like they hired.
It might be a different thing. I don't know if it's. I don't know. I'll look into that later, I guess. I don't know, man. But yeah, so Elisabeth Shue is ready to act again. Guy from the New York Times really liked the show. People in the community are still offended. And then we cut to the future. Dana is now dating Elisabeth Shue. And Hamlet 2 is opening on Broadway with the original cast. At the Nederlander Theater.
What's in there in real life?
It was Newsies and Pretty Woman. I'm not sure what's there right now.
Did Pretty Woman close because of this? The Rona?
I think it was
or
closing.
Did Pretty Woman already close?
I think it was closing before it. Let's see what the website says. Now playing should be the Lehman trilogy. I guess it's 3 plays. It's directed by Sam Mendes. He's good. But yeah, can't go see anything there until at least January 3rd, 2021.
Right.
So, but yeah, it was one of those, they showed a shot of the theater and like the way it looked, and I was like, I want to try and figure out where this is. And I did some Googling and found it. And yeah, the kids are all in it, and that's it. That's the did
one
we miss
last
any?
joke about Tucson.
Yeah, they don't like Tucson.
They end the movie on that, like.
And yeah, that's it. That's I feel like we missed a lot, but I don't know what else to say about it.
Did we cover the firefucker line? That was a classic.
Yeah, Amy Poehler does call him a firefucker.
She makes a lot of Jew jokes as well. I'm not.
Yeah, she's like, you can't fuck with me. I'm married to a Jewish guy, which, all right.
Which I'm not touching.
Again, it's all right. All right, let's move on to the criteria where we compare this to the Pacifier and see which one's better, which one's worse. Which one's better, which one's worse. I had a long day at work. How's the soundtrack? It's good.
Yeah.
Sexy Jesus, very catchy song.
Definitely. And then all the choir singing. That has to be on the soundtrack. Right?
Hopefully. It's good. I don't know if I would have it like in my Spotify rotation good, but like good.
I thought it kicked ass.
Where does the main actor land for you on the Dieselometer, comparing Vin Diesel performances to charm and ability? Main actor Steve Coogan. Luke, you looked like you were preparing yourself with your glasses. So what you got?
This is another one I did some digging for. I managed to unearth a video of Vin Diesel singing and dancing to Beyonce's Drunk in Love and Dark Horse by Katy Perry.
I was going to say any of the times Vin Diesel has sung or done karaoke or anything.
Really good. Simple. You toss that up on Google. It's like all of the results. And there's a lot of videos. It's really like, it's like that classic thing of when somebody puts their cell phone down and you like see them walk out of the shot and then there's like dance next to it. But it's Vin Diesel and the music is by Beyonce.
I think that's all you needed to say. Like,
yeah. He's a singing and dancing man. All right. Next up, did I like this as a kid or would I have liked it as a kid? I remember loving it as an early teen because of the edgy humor, like when they had the edgy parts, and not really digging with like the romantic Brie stuff. But like, I liked it enough, yeah.
Yeah, I'd say it's like a teenage humor, or early teens for sure. I would have watched it had I known about it. I feel like it didn't get represented well when it first came out.
Yeah, it was an indie.
No. Yeah. I think I would have dug it. I like Sam said. Where did it go? Why did we only hear about this from Matt through the podcast?
I didn't. I watched it.
Except
I remembered
for
it. It was an indie movie. Like, Focus Features was Universal's indie imprint, and like it just didn't go wide. It got good reviews at Sundance and was like, yeah, but it's not going to make that much money. and like this was the time before Netflix and stuff. I bet if this came out from Sundance onto like Netflix or Prime, people would be eating it up.
Yeah.
But well, also because if anything goes straight to Netflix, the people don't expect it to be quality, so the bar is much lower than anything else. But that's a whole personal thing with me.
I do think that there's a valid point there that the platform hadn't really been invented all the way that this needed to succeed.
Strange subscriptions.
Yeah, either like a Star subscription or just renting it for $3.99 or whatever.
I rented it off YouTube.
I was gonna try to do the Stars trial, but they took Tomorrowland off of Stars, so now it kind of just lives in the limbo until it comes to Disney Plus next September, and I'm very sad because I want to watch Tomorrowland.
What a weird 2 films to be your thing that you want Stars for. I need my Tomorrowland and my Sexy Jesus.
I want to rewatch Tomorrowland because it's been forever. What has the director gone on to do? He's gone on to do a lot, but like nothing that's like a big important thing. This is Andrew Fleming. He directed a movie called Ideal Home. Don't know.
That sounds vaguely familiar. What was that about?
I don't know.
Taking a smart house.
Yeah, that's Ideal Home came out in 2018. Oh, hey, it's Steve Coogan again. I guess they're friends. Steve Coogan and Paul Rudd are gay dads, and a young boy shows up their door saying that they're Steve Coogan's grandson. What?
Why is this the first that we're hearing about this movie?
I don't know. Yeah, you got Steve Coogan and Paul Rudd are together, and I don't recognize any of the other actors. Yeah, he wrote and directed it, so I guess it's gonna be similar to Hamlet 2? Maybe?
But with more Paul Rudd?
Yeah, critics seem to like it okay. He also directed, some episodes of New Girl and Younger and The Michael J. Fox Show, because that was a thing for a season.
Michael J. Fox Show.
Remember that? That was like 4 episodes.
Yeah, it kind of just came and went. And a TV remake of the movie Problem Child, starring Matthew Lillard, which was like
Shaggy?
Yeah.
Matthew Lillard?
Former Shaggy, yeah. Which was made for like the USA Network, and I tried finding like a clip of it, and it doesn't exist anywhere on the internet. So maybe someone just put that in his IMDb as like, let's see if anybody falls for this. Alright, next up, is there anything as memorable as the Peter Panda dance from the pacifier? It's a Sexy Jesus song.
Yeah, man. I wrote, is that a joke? Sexy Jesus.
It's still going in my head.
Yeah.
It's so catchy. Who is the Brad Garrett Carol Kane of the film, the insane side character? I said it was Epiphany and her strange, somehow getting worse racism.
This was like a many-way tie for me, because like a lot of the characters who weren't the main characters were really up for it. I have the copy store guy.
Glenn.
That whole scene, the main guy, what's his name? I keep forgetting. I don't know why. Dana.
Gary.
Dana is just like, he's just rambling at him about fucking, what are we going to print this? What kind of color paper we're going to print this on? And he's just standing there like, blue is nice.
Blue makes people
Blue
sad.
yeah.
It's like, that's right. Orange, the fire of passion.
Yeah. And then he loves to play. That's pretty good. Yolanda, obvious reasons. Gary is a contender. He left that protein shake. He's the real bro. I stand by it. The audio kid, we didn't really talk about the kid who's just like making sounds on his laptop, and he's the one who found the old gang party house.
And he's the one who suggests selling toasters.
Yeah. And also the newspaper child. He's in the running.
So, a lot of the supporting cast, in other words, you think, are just a little insane. Do you have one?
Sure, I'd agree with you on most of those. But Epiphany is definitely
Yeah.
Where are her parents? We need to meet her parents.
Yeah.
I'm scared to meet her parents. And last but not least, is there anything in this as batshit insane as the Sound of Music subplot from The Pacifier, which, in case you don't remember, is a subplot that's 2 scenes long and introduced about 20 minutes, with 20 minutes left in the film, where Seth, one of the young boys Vin Diesel is watching, is caught with a Nazi armband in his locker and bleached blonde hair. Everyone believes that he is a Nazi, but Vin Diesel follows him and finds out he's just playing Rolf in a community theater production of The Sound of Music.
I said all 92 minutes, including credits.
I said the ending. The fact that a high school show can go to Broadway that quickly is, I mean, no, 6 did a West End tryout, but like 6 was somebody's college project. And then
That's fair.
went to Broadway and was supposed to open, and somebody had tickets for it. But it, I don't know. I think that it was just able to snap onto Broadway. I was like, this doesn't make sense to me.
Seems unreal. Yeah.
The whole Amy Poehler showing up to ACLU, is that what she showed up as?
Yep.
Yeah.
That whole plot line. She was anti-Semitic, so it reminded me of the Nazis.
Fair.
Yeah.
Play those lines.
You get that point.
All right, and do you have a ranking and rating?
Yeah. I give this 4 trash cans to the head and a free ball hanging crucifixion. I laughed a lot here, like more than I have like really belly laughed at a movie in a while. And I don't know that it's better than The Pacifier, but this has comfortably made it into that pool of movies that I'm going to insufferably talk about, I feel like, that I'm going to be trying to throw at people, because I loved it.
I gave this 4.5 blank shots out of 7. It's not quite as good as The Pacifier, but it kind of got close for me. It's enjoyable. It's not terrible. I liked it. Good time.
That crucifixion joke, very good.
Yeah. My dad's going to have me crucified.
When my dad finds out about this. I feel like that's what a lot of the discussion of this movie is just like, did you hear this quote?
Yeah. Yeah, this didn't have much in the realm of plot to...
I'm a fan.
Yeah, it's a fun enough time.
I think that this could sit somewhere in the world of like your Wild Wild Wests and your
What?
and like Blazing Saddles and that kind of shit. I think this deserves a spot in that category.
Why Wild Wild West?
Okay, so Wild Wild West, obviously bad. I will preface it with that, but it's still trying to do some of the same shit. It's just not as successful. There's another movie that I'm leaving out, and I can't.
I think that's
maybe like Spaceballs, but not really.
So you're thinking of the Mel Brooks movies plus Wild Wild West for some reason.
Oh man, I see we don't have a Wild Wild West fan in the house, and that's okay.
It's just weird because I don't see anything in this movie that can compare to that. Like, I can get the parody aspect of Blazing Saddles, but
you don't think this movie was as ready to make wheelchair jokes as Wild Wild West?
No.
I think when presented with the opportunity,
it would make him differently. Oh, Andrew Fleming also directed a movie called Barefoot.
Now, is that like you're not wearing shoes or like a bear's feet?
No, like not wearing shoes. Someone who was 2 people who were on this podcast in the past, actors in movies in the past, Evan Rachel Wood and J.K. Simmons are in it.
In this movie?
Yeah. It's
Where?
not well received. No, not this. In Barefoot.
Oh.
There's also someone in this named Scott Speedman.
Scott Speed Racer Man.
Who's Tug Speedman? Tug Speedman's a movie character. What's he? That's Ben Stiller in Tropic Thunder, isn't it?
Maybe.
Tug Speedman, Scorcher 6, who left the fridge open. Wasn't that the whole thing?
Probably. That sounds right. I love Tropic Thunder too.
I do. I like it a lot too.
Yeah.
It's a good. It's fun. The blackface thing is
Yeah. Dated, obviously.
not good. Even though like it's trying to
What
like
else?
make
Yeah.
a statement about it, but that it's just,
I respect that they were trying to do something.
it's a statement that doesn't really work. It's like when everyone was.
I'll tell you, the statement from that movie that does work, though, is Fat Tom Cruise. A timeless statement.
Tom Cruise, when he puts his mind to something, is always good.
Yeah.
Like, I will always stand for Mission Impossible Fallout. Or any of the Mission Impossibles where he's just trying to die on camera.
No. Nothing will ever beat Jerry Maguire for me in the Tom Cruise realm.
I don't know, man. Do you see
What?
Do you see Fallout?
I haven't yet, but
Yeah, man, you gotta see him.
The human head weighs 8 pounds.
You gotta see him fight with Henry Cavill, and then Henry Cavill reloads his arms to punch more. He literally does this, and like in the trailer they put a sound in it. It's incredible.
Whoa, sorry for my hiatus there, folks.
You're good. Alright, well, do you have a ranking or a rating for this?
Oh, yeah, let's do it. I'd definitely give this, 2 room temp testicles all the way up to the roof here. Said 2 thumbs up, 2 testicles. Definitely made me laugh.
But awesome.
I skipped work to do this, so it was a good movie.
Well, thank you. We appreciate it.
Did you like it better or worse than The Pacifier?
Tough call. On par.
Even? Alright.
I'll give it to it. I mean, a lot of memorable moments. I'll be humming Sexy Jesus forever.
Yeah.
Sexy Jesus Forever. There's the title. Alright, and cool. So that's our discussion on Hamlet 2, and now it's time for the Coming Attractions game where Sam is going to give us some hints, and we are going to try to guess what next week's movie is going to be. So take it away.
So this was a personal favorite of mine when I was a kid. So there's that. There's an elephant in it. The elephant portrays a dog, actually. There's a toucan and, a talking gorilla.
Is it an original or a sequel?
Original.
Oh, I fucking love this movie.
Yeah,
It's got a kick-ass theme song.
it does. Very memorable. A lot of weird subplots as well that I'm sure you'll explore.
Scott. Now we all throw our heads back and laugh. Ready? Oh my god, I love this movie. It's so weird.
You look very confused.
So,
That's how this game usually goes for me.
the lead actor in this film has worked with a previous group of characters that we have talked about on this podcast. Perhaps it was 1 episode ago.
Quite possibly.
Is this a Michael Jordan movie?
No, the other better movie with those characters, the lead actor from that.
Is this Back in Action?
But who's the lead actor in Back in Action?
Brendan Fraser.
And what movie is he in that would involve a talking gorilla, a toucan, an elephant, Leslie Mann, Thomas Hayden Church?
This isn't Mighty Joe Young.
No.
There's a monkey in it.
It's a lot funnier.
George of the Jungle?
There you go.
Yeah.
Watch out for that tree, man.
Oh, George of the Jungle's so weird. I watched it recently just because I was like, is this good? I don't remember if I like it or not. And I'm just like, oh, hell yeah.
You know, I actually don't know that I ever saw it.
Oh,
It's-
come on.
I know.
It's got this sense of humor that like it's weird. All
The
right.
narrator
All for
is
it.
the best.
I love the narrator. All right. Well,
Oh. Sorry. Speaking of narrator, did Jeremy Irons narrate the film we talked about today?
who was the narrator?
This is out of sequence, folks.
It says it's narrated by Steve Coogan as well.
That's what I guessed. But
I don't know.
okay.
He made a joke about Jeremy Irons wanting to be in the play, and I was like, that's got to be...
And
They got to be talking about it because he's already here, but they weren't.
Nope. All right. Well, Sam, thank you for the movie suggestion. Do you have anything you want to plug?
I don't actually. I'm not that funny.
Alright.
I wish I did. Just keep listening to this, guys. I'm sure everything else is going to be a blast, and I apologize for technical difficulties.
That's all right.
Hey, man. Out of your control.
I'll try and find a way to fix them all. All right.
Thanks for coming, man.
Yeah, thank you for being on. Tune in next week when we will discuss George of the Jungle with some special guest. And thank you to Ian Cracklin' Oat Brand Weber for making our theme song. And for No Highway Option, I've been Connor.
And I've been Luke.
And as always, these have been our opinions. And if you did not agree with them, well, that's too bad because it's our way. No highway
option.
You started saying no when I said highway, and I'm